Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd here. A1RV, the consignment location for Heartland RV. We're selling this here little trail runner bunkhouse for the owners. It's about 5,110 pounds. And actually, if you're a regular Heartland video viewer, you might remember we had a 29 BHS bunkhouse Cougar down here. That's what they're upgrading to. They bought this from us years ago as their first camper, learned a lot about camping along the way. Unfortunately, they had to learn some of it by hard-nosed experience. The RV has, unfortunately, had a leak in two different areas. I'm going to show you those first and foremost so that you know that we're not just pulling wool over your eyes. But the thing is, for the money they're asking us, I think it was, what, 6-7 grand, something like that. It's super, super reasonable. I think it's a fantastic choice for someone who is going to be a first-timer themselves because it's easy in, easy out. If you love camping, great. You could flip out of this thing in a year and really not be stung too much. You'll never get your taxes back, but that's a small price to pay for learning if you do or don't like this. And if you do like it, great. You could use it for a number of years. So what are we talking about here? Well, the first thing I want to mention is it's not leaking now, because that's something that is almost implied when you say it had a leak, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's been addressed. In this case, it has. Now, in this front corner, something happened around a baggage door maybe, and I mean, you can see where they went through and they sealed the life out of it. It is not leaking currently. I would know we've had enough rain lately. They put this chunk of plywood down and screwed it into the wood decking that was remaining. And you can see that unfortunately it affected some of the flooring in here. And but down here, there's an open, we're gonna call it floor vent, basement vent. But you can put your cargo here. It's gonna be no problem. Now, similarly, but to a far less severe degree, something similar happened back here. And again, you can see where they've sealed around it, readjusted it, done what they needed to. And this has been affected, but it's still solid. So they got to this a little bit more quickly. And that's really the scariest part of the camper. It's nothing you really walk on. There's a tiny spot by the door. I think this was maybe from the door being left open because I don't believe this is from sealing. Like, this is all solid. There's a little spot right there that's soft. Other than that, it's fine. So it's nothing structural. It's not the studs. It's not the roof. It's just, and you can still put cargo on it. It's still a perfectly 100% functional camper. Yes, it's had an unsavory glitch, but here's the thing, guys. Because it has, it's probably saving you 2 or 3 grand versus what this RV would otherwise be worth. So if you're cool with saving like 30% off the tag of this camper and still have a camper, I'm using the force to close that door, by the way. Anyway, mind powers. But you get the idea. If you don't mind saving a mint for something that's not in perfect shape, like I bought a used car that had a dent in the bumper, save me money. If you're cool with that, I'm cool with that. Let's see what else she's got, because she's got some good stuff. Now, some of that front pass-through effect is visible here in the bedroom area, but you can walk all over this. It's not going anywhere. You can boot, stomp, hacksaw, Jim Duggan the crap out of this thing. It ain't doing nothing. Instead, what you got is a camper that otherwise pretty cute. One of the things I always liked about these trail runners when we had them at Heartland RVs, they're 7 foot tall inside. Industry standard trailer, like a Cherokee Grey Wolf we have at Heartland, it's a 6.5 foot tall. A taller trailer will be something like a Catalina or a J-Flight who makes this model at Heartland RV, and they're 6'9". This is 3 inches bigger still, which is really nice for the previous owner because I ain't small, and he's, I think, bigger than me. He's one of the few people I look up to, and I mean quite literally. I went to high school with the fella of the house, which seems like 400 years ago now. When did that time go? Good God. 50% of my life ago we went to high school together. Sorry, I literally just had like an oh my gosh kind of moment. But back to the task at hand. He was taller than me, and he needed that extra height. I like the windows in here. Another thing I like is they ran the cabinetry all the way here to the kind of privacy wall. Now down below you're going to see some great drawer space. That's another thing little bunkhouses don't usually get a lot of, and you can see they did a good job of it here. Now, I don't have it open where I'm standing because the camper's not exactly level. The door keeps shutting, but you can see there is a full pantry between the fridge and bathroom door as well. Central air, central heat, not an Arctic camper, spring, summer, fall camper, but it gets the job done well enough for average consumer like me. The table down here feels huge, not because the table's actually bigger, but just because that big wide open ceiling gives it so much more like kind of breathing room. And I wish more people would appreciate this dining table setup right here. This to me is like one of the most dollar for dollar, pound for pound, budget perfect ways to do a dinette. You take a simple bench, it's got storage below it, I can fold it down into a sleeper. Awesome. But instead of those stupid pedestals that are knee-knocking nightmares, a pair of what I call like ironing board legs, folding legs like this, they make the tables lightweight. I can move it, I can shove it over to my wife and kids because I'm too fat in my dad bod gut right now. Anyway, that's an entirely... I've been packing on the pandemic pounds, and I ain't gonna lie. I haven't hated myself enough to do anything about it yet, but we're getting close. I'm getting sick of this. Then again, some extra weight around the midsection is nice to keep warm during winter. The problem is I'm tired of sweating in the air conditioning because I'm getting too fat. This is a corner what I'm going to call Jack and Jill bunk. Not an official industry term, just something I've always used. Single bunk over a double bunk. Owners had 2 kiddos. I think both girls, if I believe. But one of them went to school with my kiddo. Kind of something that we ran into one day. I'm like, oh, hey, I know those people. There's your pantry. And our bathroom is simple but functional. Now, one of the cool things about this is a Heartland camper. And Heartland got its start by making big fifth wheels first. Well, they had leftover materials when they were done. And that's kind of where some of the stuff in the Trail Runner comes from. They took the leftover stuff, and I don't mean like sawdust, guys. I mean like this porcelain foot flush stool down here. Some good leftover things that they didn't need in their big fifth wheels. They bought some extra materials, built a trailer around it, and sometimes you get the benefit of those higher end features at a more basic series trailer here just because they went the opposite direction of most brands. And I don't know why I remember so much minutia history of stuff like that. It'll never be on Jeopardy, but man, if it is, if there's ever like a Team Jeopardy and there's a Let's Camp category, ooh buddy, old Uncle Josh RV nerd, I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll get you that money. Then I'll probably blow it on a daily double. Anyway, privacy wall up here. Now the sofa and the dinette can both fold down, but this privacy wall does have like an accordion curtain kind of door if you want to close this off. That taller ceiling here is really nice because you have that full overhead cabinet, but the taller ceiling keeps it further up out of the way. So you could literally sit up on that bed and not clock your noggin. Meanwhile, you've got those nice full side stands. You can see the previous owners had a little TV that they put up and just took down for transit. I think that's a simple, smart, easy, cheap, effective way to do it. What I have not done, actually, and they have replaced this. This is a longer true queen bed, not a camp queen, so I got to do a little sideways scoop, but you see I can get around here. I haven't been over here, and that looks good. That's just the only thing I thought about. It's like I hadn't actually been on that side of the camper and looked, and it looks fine. And apologies if I pick up the pace here a little bit. I've got some weather moving in on me, and I don't want to leave this like half done. I hate doing things halfway. Back to the front. We already kind of peeked in here, but big compartment. And you see the hitching over there. Previous owners getting a new hitch with their new bigger trailer, one that's a little better suited for that. We've already kind of talked about all this, so I don't want to, beat that horse to death any more than I have. And again, it's a bummer that those little spots are there, but they're not really hurting anything, and they are saving you a ton of money. I think if it were me, I'd slap a power tongue jack on the front of this thing, get her hitched up, and call it a day. That's kind of what I would do on it. The again, not an enclosed Arctic belly or anything like that, but I do like the tinted windows. I think that's actually going to be more beneficial because that's something that every single time you camp, the nosy neighbors are keeping the sunshine out. That'll be useful. The tires looked all right. I don't remember any issues with the tires. And again, sorry if I'm moving real fast here right now, but last thing I want to do is get Josh the lightning rod out here. And there ain't, no dry rot, no weather checking. That looks good. Those plastic fender skirts, everything there still in the way. It does look like one of the fender like anti-wind buffeting support straps has kind of come unclipped. That's not a real hard thing to re-affix, thankfully. Now the rear bumper back here is a cool thing. It actually slides out. So like in today's market, you see like the Cherokees and the Catalinas have those fold down cargo racks. This is kind of its predecessor. If I get up here, you can sort of see the little sliding track and how it's locked in place with those pins right there. Well, you see that post right behind the spare tire as well. If you want to, you can slide that out like a good 2.5 feet or something like that, 3 feet. I never measured it actually. And you can create yourself a little cargo tray, bike rack, whatever you want it to be. It's pretty handy. Or just slide it away like you see right here for storage purposes. And this rear cargo compartment, we already saw the flooring, but what we didn't talk about is the fact that it's a nice chunk of storage space here. And not everybody's like, ooh, I gotta have a camp kitchen. Some people just want the storage outside, and that space of storage right there is super handy for your family, because that's where you're probably going to keep all your picnic stuff, your campsite games, your little bag toss jobs or whatever you got. Again, perfect for first timers, well within half-ton towability. Tundras, things like that, bigger SUVs, this is perfect for you. So give us a call, we'll get you hitched up, finance, pieces, parts, or just borrow copies of your Herbie Hancock and let you hit the road as you please. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and have an A1 day, everyone. It's so stupid.